Good morning, Coastal Bend. Meteorologist Carly Smith is here. This is our satellite radar imagery. The current time is 10:14 a.m. and we're going to discuss how this stationary boundary that you see here, that's a stationary boundary. It is a cold front that is weakened and stalled across the coastal bend. This can sometimes provide us with some rainfall, and there is a chance we see an isolated to spotty shower today, but it's not the best chance of rain, unfortunately. We'll talk about who sees the greatest chance of rain and where there is a risk of some strong and potentially even severe thunderstorms coming up in this live update. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith. Again, your time now is 10:14 a.m. We're going to get started. It's areas closer to the valley that are really at the greatest risk for that strong to severe thunderstorm risk, and that has to do with upper level energy. So there's this piece of upper level energy that's going to slide on in, and it's going to give us this risk of severe weather, mostly coming off the Sierra Madres into Mexico. So let's break it down with the weather graphic, shall we? If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please post them in the comments section below. If you are watching on Facebook, that's where I'm looking at the comments today. But don't forget, we've got lots of ways to watch this content. We've got YouTube, and we also have 3 News Plus, which is an app on your Roku, your Fire TV, your Amazon stick. All of those, your Fire Stick, all of those, you just search for the app in the App Store, and you download it for free. It's totally free to download 3 News Plus in your App Store on your television, which is really cool. Right now we've got high pressure, we've got that stationary boundary set up. There are a few severe thunderstorms across southern Louisiana today. That's where the boundary is at its strongest right now. But you see that energy that's kind of over northern Mexico. That's the energy we're going to be watching as daytime heat continues to allow the boost of orographic lift and that stationary boundary potentially allowing some storms to develop. This severe weather risk, you see it right here. It's mostly for the valley. I didn't create a zoom in, but if I did, you would see closer that pretty much all of Jim Hogg County and most of Brooks County and a portion of Kennedy County are all included in that marginal level 1 risk of severe weather today. And what that means is that's the lowest risk. That means an isolated storm could produce some really strong wind and some hail. That's our biggest concern. These storms will likely be weakening. That means they're going to become downdraft dominant as they're moving into Texas. And what that does is it creates some really strong winds. You can kind of get a form of a microburst that may happen, or a downburst that kind of creates a boost in that wind. And so that's what we're really going to be watching for. Well, let's break down the timing now, but additionally, just a heads up, if anyone's traveling San Angelo to Dallas and then up toward Wichita Falls and almost to Lubbock, has a marginal level 1 risk of severe weather tomorrow on Thursday. Here's a look at a rainfall forecast. Yeah, at least Texas gets some rain. That's the big bonus. But a lot of this may be coming closer to Memorial Day. So if you're traveling on Monday, we are going to have to watch out. That's when our next cold front will be making its way through the Lone Star State, bringing us more so a chance of rain. Not a huge boost or drop in temperatures, but a tiny drop in humidity heading into next week. So we'll focus on that coming up tomorrow, but for today, we're going to keep on the severe weather. So here's the front through this morning, right? It's stalled. Now, heading into this afternoon, a chance for a spotty shower, but more so we're watching that activity that's in Mexico. As that kind of forms and develops, it's going to be trying to tap into where that upper level energy is, and this particular model keeps that upper level energy much closer to the Rio Grande River, which is going to limit how much we see across South Texas. If this model holds true, I'm not really worried at all about severe weather in, well, Jim Hogg County could get a little bit, but Brooks and Kennedy County pretty much clear in this scenario. However, I'll show you another model run where you just may want to stay a little weather aware, make sure some outdoor objects are tied down, just in case for tonight. It's not a guarantee. I think that's the hardest thing about forecasting severe weather is we know a wide area where severe weather will be possible, but picking the exact location that a storm happens is very difficult to do. So with that being said though, as we head into Thursday, the front lifts north, it stalls then across the Red River. That's why they have the risk of severe weather further north. Then we're pretty dry for the most part through Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be Mondays, late Sunday and into Monday. That's when the stormy weather moves in over the Memorial Day holiday weekend. So Monday afternoon, we could be dealing with some rain and even thunderstorms, and that may continue into Tuesday, pending where this front stalls. But now, as we head into Wednesday, again, the majority of the day, we're basically rain-free. A spotty sprinkle or shower here or there is going to be possible. Our wind is still fairly light, especially compared to how it's going to be over Memorial Day weekend. We are going to see some stronger wind then. But as you see here on Futurecast, 89 degrees, it's hot and humid. That heat can fuel thunderstorms. So that's something we've got to watch out for, is if our sky's clear, we are expecting to still be hazy. But if our sky's totally clear, we are going to have a little bit more boost in our CAPE, which is our convective available potential energy. Then as we head into the 7 o'clock hour, this is when storms are starting to cross the Rio Grande. So I showed you the big picture earlier. Now we're on the zoomed in picture. If you missed that, once this live stream is over, you can kind of skip ahead and try to find what you may have missed. But what you see here, 84 degrees. We are seeing cloud coverage increasing from the storms likely that develop into Mexico. And then here we have it, 10 p.m. Hebbronville has the greatest risk of seeing one of these storms because they will be weakening. So as you see, getting to Falfurrias, there was a little bit of red and yellow showing up on the map approaching Hebbronville. As it approaches Falfurrias, even into Kingsville, Benavides, Alice, you could see some of the rain from the storm that does develop. Again, the model I showed you earlier kept it much closer to the Rio Grande. This model has it a little bit further north. So it's going to fall somewhere in between those two. It's not a guarantee, unfortunately, which makes my job very difficult. But what you see here is the weakening storm. This is a sign. Hebbronville, I would watch out for the potential of downdrafts, but by the time it's reaching 281 and 77, this storm should be weakening quite dramatically if you even get any rain out of it. So rainfall totals closer to the valley are trending closer to an inch. Further north, we're maybe a quarter of an inch if we're lucky. Higher end would be a half an inch. And again, that's more so Benavides, Kingsville, and south of there that even has the chance at this. Then by 7 a.m., by the time you're headed out the door tomorrow morning, we're rain-free, we're still cloudy, hot, humid. A front technically went through, but you're barely going to notice it. Our temperatures are only slowly inching warmer and warmer as we head into the holiday weekend. So this is going to do it for the live update. We'll leave it on the 7-day forecast. Thank you, Rita, for commenting. For now, thanks again for watching. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith, signing off.